She knelt at his grave and whispered, "I'm sorry I didn't save you," not knowing he was behind her, alive. The rain came soft over the battlefield turned burial ground. The earth was still raw, turned dark by shovels and sorrow. Wooden markers jutted up from the mud, each etched with a name carved by shaking hands. Arya knelt at one of them, her cloak heavy with water. Her hands pressed against the crude marker as though her touch could bring warmth to the letters carved there. Kale. Her voice was barely a whisper, carried only to the dead. "I'm sorry," she breathed. "I should have saved you. I should have been faster, braver, stronger. I should have been anything but what I was." Her shoulders trembled. For days she had fought, for nights she had hoped, and in the end, she had buried him, or thought she had. All she had found was a torn scrap of his cloak, soaked in blood near the ruins of the final skirmish. The others had told her he was gone. She believed them. She carved his name herself. "I wasn't ready to lose you," she whispered, tears mixing with the rain. "I wasn't ready for the silence." Behind her, boots pressed softly into the wet earth. A shadow moved closer, hesitant, as though afraid the moment would shatter. "Arya!" The word froze her breath. It couldn't be. She turned slowly, her heart a hammer in her chest. And there he was. Kale. Alive. The return. He looked worn, battered, scarred, but standing. His hair was matted with rain, his cloak torn, but his eyes, those same steady eyes, met hers. She staggered to her feet, disbelief breaking across her face. "No, no, this isn't real." "It's me," Kale said, his voice hoarse. "I didn't fall. Not completely." Her throat closed. She moved as if to touch him, then stopped short, afraid he might vanish like a dream. "I buried you." "You buried hope," he said gently. "Not me." The ground tilted beneath her. She wanted to rage, to laugh, to weep, but all she could do was stare. How are you standing here?" "The truth." Kale's gaze dropped to the earth at his supposed grave. "That night, when the lines broke, I was struck down. I thought I was finished. But the enemy left me for dead, too broken to matter. I crawled away. For days I wandered half-conscious, until a wanderer found me and mended what he could." He touched the scar running along his side, a mark of near death. "By the time I could stand again, the battle was long done. I came here as soon as I could." Arya shook her head, tears falling freely now. "All this time I hated myself. I thought I let you die." "You didn't," he said. His voice grew softer. "You gave me something to come back to. The weight of survival." The silence stretched between them, filled only by the rain. Arya sank back to her knees, but this time it was not at the grave. It was because her legs trembled too much to stand. She pressed a hand to her face, trying to mask the storm of grief and relief warring inside her. "You don't understand," she whispered. "I lived every day since thinking I failed you. That it was my fault you were gone." Kale crouched beside her, rain sliding down his scarred face. "And I lived every day clawing back to this world because I couldn't leave you with that weight." Her breath hitched. She looked up at him through wet lashes, searching for the truth in his eyes. And she found it. A bond reforged. Slowly, she reached out, her fingers brushing his hand. It was solid, warm, alive. A sob broke from her lips. She pulled him against her, clutching him as though to anchor him to this world. His arms closed around her, steady despite the weakness in his frame. "You're real," she whispered against his chest. "I am. I buried you." "Then dig me up," he said softly. "I'm here. After the rain." They stayed there for a long time, kneeling in mud and rain, the world forgotten. When at last the storm eased, Arya drew back enough to see his face fully. "You've changed," she murmured. "So have you." She let out a shaky laugh. I don't know whether to kiss you or hit you. Cale's smile was faint but real. Do both. I probably deserve it. She did kiss him, rain slick, fierce, desperate. And when she pulled back, she did hit him lightly on the shoulder, tears shining with something brighter now. Don't you ever vanish like that again. I'll try not to, he promised. Epilogue. Later, when they left the graveyard, the marker with his name remained. But now, instead of standing as a memorial, it stood as a reminder of loss endured, of love that refused to die, of a bond that had survived death itself. For Arya, the guilt she carried was not erased, but it was healed. For Cale, survival was no longer just endurance, it was purpose. They walked away hand in hand, alive. And for the first time since the war began, Arya felt something she thought she had buried with him. Hope.